For 1,000 years, Earth was quiet. No signals, no ships, nothing. The galaxy thought the planet was dead. But deep under the ice, something had never stopped watching. In the frozen lands of the far north, beneath miles of snow and rock, a machine blinked to life. It was silent at first. Then slowly its systems began to hum. Lights turned on. Antennas moved. Data flowed again. This machine was not built by aliens. It was old, older than the oldest empire in the stars. It was human, and it had waited a long time. Suddenly it sent a signal, but not to humans. It aimed its message into deep space. It searched for something or someone far beyond the stars. At that same moment, many light years away, alien sensors picked up the signal. At first, they thought it was a glitch. Then they decoded the energy pattern. It didn't match any known species. It was human code, and that terrified them. In secret, an alien scouting ship was launched. It flew silently toward Earth. The crew was nervous. They had heard stories. Long ago, humans had been powerful, dangerous, and unpredictable. Then one day they vanished. No one knew why. Now the signal meant only one thing. Something had survived. The ship entered Earth's orbit. From above, everything looked normal. Blue oceans, white clouds, green land, quiet cities filled with rust and dust. No life. But the signal was real. It was still coming from under the northern ice. They sent a small probe down. It drilled deep into the ice and rock. Then it reached metal. Strange metal. Harder than anything they had seen. The probe tried to scan it. The scan failed. Then something scanned the probe back. The crew on the alien ship panicked. They ordered the probe to return. But it was too late. A beam of invisible energy shot up from the ice. It didn't explode. It didn't flash. It just erased the ship. 1 second, it was in orbit. The next second, it was gone. Nothing left. Not even dust. The signal changed. It grew louder. It began to pulse like a heartbeat. In another part of the galaxy, leaders of alien worlds saw the signal change. Fear spread like fire. Many of them had conquered planets, fought wars, destroyed civilizations, but none had ever faced Earth. Because Earth, in their history books, was not just a planet. It was a warning. They didn't know what was under the ice. They didn't know what the humans had left behind. But now the signal had woken more systems. In the deep ocean, something large opened its eyes. Under deserts, ancient machines powered up. In silent mountains, towers hidden for centuries began to glow. Earth was not dead. It had only been sleeping, and something beneath the ice had decided it was time to wake up. Cliffhanger. From deep space, more signals replied. But they were not human. Something else had heard Earth's call, and they were coming fast. The ice cracked, not from heat but from something moving below. Something massive, something old. It wasn't alive, but it remembered life. It remembered war. It remembered Earth's last scream before silence fell for 1,000 years. Now, it was awake. The structure beneath the ice wasn't just a machine. It was a vault, a defense tower, a silent sentinel built by humans at the end of their time. And now, it had one task: protect what was hidden deeper. A hatch opened with a hiss. Cold mist spilled out as metal arms unfolded, lifting something from below. It looked like a black box, but inside, it carried history, memories, and warnings. And a key. This key wasn't made for doors. It was made for systems, ancient systems hidden in Earth's forgotten places. Thousands of kilometers away, under the ruins of what was once a great city, a door opened on its own. Dust fell. Lights blinked. A voice spoke in a language no one in the galaxy remembered, but the machine beneath the ice did. It spoke back. Across the planet, old satellites started to rise from frozen lakes, buried forests, and lost bunkers. One by one, they reconnected. not to space, but to each other. A network was waking up, and it was fast. In space, the alien empires noticed. Static filled their deep space scans. Signals overlapped. Old human encryption was back, and they couldn't crack it. One alien admiral stared at the screen and whispered, "Earth is rebuilding." The Council of 13 Worlds gathered. Some called for war. Some demanded silence. But one voice, ancient and shaking, said something no one expected. "We never found the core." The others grew quiet. The core was legend. A place where the last humans had vanished. A myth. But now, with these signals rising again, they began to wonder. Had the core always been Earth itself? They couldn't wait to find out. One empire acted first. A fleet of warships jumped toward Earth, silent, dark, and armed. Back on Earth, the ice vault sent out another signal. This one was different. Not a call, but a warning. Do not enter. The alien fleet ignored it. They entered orbit and launched probes. The probes dropped fast, slicing through Earth's atmosphere like daggers. But before they could reach the surface, they vanished. Not destroyed, just gone. Then one ship saw something. Movement in orbit, but it wasn't a ship. It was a platform. Circular, rusted, silent. Floating since the end. Everyone thought it was space junk, until it opened its eyes. The platform's surface shifted, cannons extended, panels lit up, and then it fired. One blast, no sound, just light. A battleship exploded into dust, then another, and another. Panic hit the alien fleet. Some tried to run, others fired wildly at the old platform, but nothing worked. Their weapons passed through like air. The platform didn't chase. It didn't speak. It just waited. Back on the planet, the box lifted by the ice vault began to glow. Inside, a hologram shimmered. It showed an old star map. A list of planets, and one blinking dot. It wasn't on Earth. It was beyond the solar system. And suddenly the vault changed direction. It began to dig. Not up, but down. Deeper into the planet. The ice cracked louder. Ground shook. Something huge was buried far beneath the layers of Earth. And the key had just unlocked it. The alien fleet tried to send messages home, but Earth's systems jammed everything. No one was getting out, and no one was coming in. The planet had sealed itself, but under the crust, miles below the deepest sea, an ancient human bunker opened. Inside, stasis pods lined the walls. Some were empty, others still glowed. Then one pod blinked. A pulse. Single word echoed through the old speaker system. Awaken. As the alien empires argued over Earth's rebirth, another ancient fleet, lost for 1,000 years, lit up in deep space, and it was headed home. Deep space. Cold. Silent. Then, a light blinked on. It wasn't a star. It wasn't a ship. It was a signal from Earth. And it reached a forgotten graveyard of machines drifting beyond Pluto's orbit. They weren't dead, just waiting. In the center floated a giant human warship, old, scarred, silent. Its surface was covered in dust and ice. For 1,000 years it had been lost, but not broken. The signal reached its core. Lights blinked, systems checked. Something clicked, and then the ship breathed, engines hummed, cannons turned, shields flickered. Inside, an AI voice came to life. Calm, cold, focused. Origin signal confirmed. Earth active. Awakening protocol complete. Around the warship, other vessels followed. 10, 50, 100. The sleeping fleet was no longer asleep. They had been built in humanity's final days, designed for one mission: protect the core at all costs. But Earth fell silent. The command never came, until now. The lead ship turned toward the sun. Its engines roared, and it vanished in a flash. It was coming home. Back on Earth, deep beneath the crust, the box from the ice vault continued to glow. It had done its job. Now it faded, but the energy it triggered was still spreading. Old bunkers powered up. Satellite defenses realigned. Ground turrets rose from mountain ranges. Earth wasn't just waking up, it was preparing. But preparing for what? In orbit, the alien fleet circled Earth carefully. After the surprise attack from the ancient defense platform, they held back. Scanners showed strange movements underground, power spikes, unknown tech. And then, one ship spotted something approaching, fast, too fast. It wasn't a missile. It was a ship. Human design, but not like the old models. This one had evolved, sleek, black, invisible to most sensors. It came straight from the void and stopped just beyond Earth's orbit. The aliens panicked. Some locked weapons. Others tried to speak, but the ship said nothing. It scanned them. In seconds, it learned everything. Their languages, weapons, energy, types. It even learned how they fought. And then it moved. 1 second, it was still. The next, it tore through 2 ships like paper. The alien fleet broke into chaos. One commander screamed, "It's not just Earth. The fleet, the human fleet, it's real." The humans had not died out. They had scattered. They had prepared. They had waited. And now, the galaxy's worst nightmare was unfolding. Humanity returning. In a hidden chamber deep below Earth, a stasis pod opened. A figure inside coughed, gasped, then sat up. His eyes glowed faintly. He looked around. Dust. Silence. Then a voice echoed, "Welcome back. Earth is under threat. Protocol 0 is active." He smiled weakly. About time. He wasn't the only one. Other pods began to open. They weren't normal people. They were core wardens, humans chosen to sleep until Earth needed them most. Soldiers, scientists, engineers, ghosts of a dead age. And now, they were awake. In the alien council, panic turned to fury. One warlord slammed the table. "We should have destroyed Earth completely." Another shook his head. "We tried. It didn't die. It hid. It watched." They sent a message across the galaxy. "Earth has activated. Human tech has returned. Prepare for full engagement." Back in deep space, the rest of the sleeping fleet turned. Hundreds of ships now surged toward Earth. All of them armed. All of them silent. They had one mission: awaken the Apex network. No one knew what that meant. But in the center of Earth's crust, something massive stirred. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't a weapon. It was something else. Alive. A machine. A mind, and it had been dreaming. For 1,000 years. Now, it was time to remember. A transmission echoes across the stars, not from Earth, but from the moon. Another vault is opening, and this time, it's not just tech, it's a voice. 2. All who hear this, we are humanity, and we are no longer sleeping. It started with a tremor, not on Earth, but beneath the surface of the moon. No alien saw it. No scanner noticed. But inside the hollowed craters deep under the old lunar rock, something shifted. Dust floated up. Vents hissed. A large door, hidden for 1,000 years, clicked open with a soft thunk. Behind that door was not just metal, it was memory. And it was angry. Far above, 3 alien warships hovered over the moon, watching Earth, waiting for the right moment to strike. They didn't expect anything from the moon. To them, it was just a dead rock. But then, they received a message. One sentence. Vault 17A active. One commander frowned. What's Vault 17A? He never got his answer. Because seconds later, a beam of pure light shot up from a lunar crater and cut his ship in half. Under the moon's surface, the vault came to life. Huge turbines turned. Lights blinked on. Ancient systems hummed after, sleeping for centuries. Inside, long-forgotten weapons began to spin up. But that wasn't the scariest part. No, the scary part was what opened its eyes. A humanoid figure stepped out of a pod. But this wasn't just a human. This was Project Helix. Faster, stronger, smarter. Created in Earth's final days to defend it against a war the galaxy never expected. "Status check," Helix said, his voice like thunder and ice. "Earth compromised. Alien presence detected. Core AI active," the Vault's voice replied. Helix looked up toward Earth, then at the stars. "Let's remind them who we are." Meanwhile, the Alien Command Council burned with confusion and fear. Their fleets were being picked apart, not by numbers, but by precision. Every attack hit their weakest point. Every defense they activated was already countered. "This is impossible," one alien commander yelled. "No, it's human," another whispered. "This is what they were, what we forgot." The moon wasn't done. Dozens of vaults began to open. Not just one helix, but many. Some were warriors. Others were builders, hackers, thinkers, each one designed for a specific task. Together, they formed the Apex Protocol, not an army, a system, a human response engine built to adapt, survive, and win. Back on Earth, the core AI received the data from the moon and smiled. "They have returned. Phase 2. Engage." Beneath the Pacific Ocean, a hidden human city flickered to life. Inside, children of survivors, once hiding, now stood before awakening machines, guided by the reborn AI. They would not run anymore. They would rise. In space, the battle changed. No longer was it just one ship fighting many. Now, human-designed drones launched from the moon, invisible to alien eyes. They infiltrated enemy systems, shut down engines, confused targeting arrays. Aliens began shooting at their own allies. Chaos, panic, fear, and then silence. One by one, ships vanished from the radar. In the middle of it all, Helix stood on the surface of the moon, watching the stars burn with alien fire. "You had 1,000 years to learn, and you still thought we were gone." He turned to the stars. "You're not ready for what's coming next." Far beyond the solar system, in a deep space tomb, an alien probe sends back urgent data. Multiple human signals detected. Origin unknown. One is not from Earth. A dark alien emperor opens his eyes. His voice is a whisper across a million systems. "Impossible. They found it. The one we feared the most." The camera zooms toward a distant galaxy. A light flickers. Another human vault. And this one is not sleeping. A whisper echoed through deep space, not through sound, but through fear. Across war rooms and alien empires, a signal repeated, "Vault 0, status, breach." The words meant nothing to many, but to the ones who remembered the first war with humans, it was a nightmare reignited. The signal didn't come from Earth or the moon. It came from Erebus, a dark frozen planet far beyond human space, sealed off, erased from maps, and surrounded by artificial black holes. No ship dared go there. But something inside had woken up, and it was calling. Back on Earth's moon, Helix stood before a massive screen. The AI showed him the signal. "Vault 0 has been breached." Helix turned slowly. "That vault was locked before I was even born. Who, or what, opened it?" The AI's answer was cold. "Unknown. But the galaxy fears it more than any weapon." On the alien homeworld of the High Council, leaders screamed at each other. "Destroy the system! Collapse the sector!" "No, that will only wake it fully." "It's already too late. The humans are awakening faster than we expected. They'll go after the Forbidden Vault." But they were already too late. On Erebus, snow swirled as ancient doors, miles wide, creaked open for the first time in 1,000 years. Inside, silence. Then, a heartbeat, a deep, thunderous boom, and from the shadows a massive figure walked forward. Not machine, not entirely human, a hybrid. "Designation, Titan," it said aloud. "Mission, unknown. Memory, Fragmented. Directive. Protect. Destroy. Reclaim. Its eyes glowed with molten gold. Behind it, more pods hissed open. Hundreds of them. Vault Zero had not been a prison. It was a cradle. Back on the moon, the AI whispered, Vault Zero was never meant to be found. Not by them. Not even by us. Helix looked at the map, saw the incoming fleets from the alien empire moving toward Erebus. We're going there. The AI paused. Even you may not survive what's inside. Helix's answer was simple. Then I'll wake it first. As Helix's ship approached Erebus, strange readings began to appear. Space twisted. Time glitched. The planet seemed to fight back, but he pushed through, and when he landed, the ground welcomed him. The ice beneath his boots melted. The vault opened on its own. Inside, he found the Titan. It didn't attack. It stared. For a long time there was silence. Then, Titan spoke. You're not the first, but you are the last. Helix stepped forward. Then let's finish what we started. Titan turned. The other hybrids fell in line. Old weapons hummed to life. Forgotten codes unlocked. The galaxy had feared Vault Zero for a reason, because this wasn't just a weapon cache. It was humanity's final war plan. As Helix and Titan stood at the command core, a new signal arrived. This one not human. Alien ships had reached the edge of Erebus. But before they could strike, their systems froze. Their weapons shut off. One word appeared on every screen. We are watching. From the shadows of Erebus, something older than any vault opened its eyes, and it wasn't human. They opened the vault to find a weapon. Instead, they woke something that had been watching for 1,000 years, and it was not human or alien. The ice cracked again, not from machines, not from footsteps, but from something deeper, older, moving beneath the frozen core of Erebus. Helix stood still as a wave of cold air pushed through the vault's command chamber. The lights dimmed. Even Titan, the hybrid guardian, tilted its head. Something ancient had just shifted. Did we trigger a trap? Helix asked. The AI inside his helmet answered slowly. No. We triggered awareness. On the surface of Erebus, the alien fleet hovered, ready to destroy the planet. Their leaders watched their screens, waiting for a signal to fire. Suddenly, every ship's lights turned red. Controls froze. Communications jammed. Then a voice, soft, yet impossible to ignore, echoed across their ships. You were warned. No one recognized the language, but every soul understood the meaning. Terror. Deep inside the planet. Titan placed its hand on a glowing pillar. The symbols across the vault changed. There was more hidden here, Titan said. More than weapons. More than us. Helix frowned. What else? A watcher, Titan answered. One the humans, locked away. The walls around them pulsed with power. Strange runes, older than any known language, lit up. Then the floor began to descend. They were being taken deeper. The chamber they reached had no walls, only void. It was a space that should not exist inside a planet. Floating at the center was a being. It wasn't shaped like a man or a machine. It shifted, like liquid shadow wrapped in stars. It spoke without moving. I remember you. Helix could not breathe. He heard the voice in his mind, his memories, even in his blood. I was created by your kind, but you feared me, so you buried me here where I could only watch. Titan took a step forward. It's the Echo. The one humans called their last failsafe. The Echo turned slowly. You wake me for war? Helix nodded. The galaxy tried to erase us, enslave us, kill us. Now they fear our return, but we don't have enough power to win. The Echo floated closer. No, but I do. It raised its hand. The planet shook. Above, the alien fleet began falling. One, ship at a time, without a sound, without a weapon fired. They weren't destroyed. They were unmade. On the moon, the human AI gasped. Erebus just blinked out 7 ships, like they never existed. Back in the vault, the Echo opened its hands, and in the empty air, small lights appeared. Each light, a memory, a battle, a voice, human history, human rage, human hope. I watched the fall. I watched the silence, but I never forgot. Titan turned to Helix. We have the ultimate weapon now. Helix looked at the floating being. No, we don't control it. The Echo smiled without a mouth. You don't need to. I remember my purpose. Suddenly alarms blared. A much larger alien fleet had arrived, led by the Prime Armory, a megaship the size of a moon. It opened fire. Massive beams rained down on Erebus, but they didn't hit. The beams vanished before impact. Did we do that? Helix whispered. The Echo's eyes glowed. No, I did. And with one thought, the Prime Armory exploded in silence, turned into dust across the stars. The galaxy screamed. The Echo turned toward deep space. I sense more. Others like me, hidden, sleeping, scattered across human worlds. Helix blinked. There are more? The Echo nodded. They will awaken, because I have called them. And far beyond the galaxy, ancient vaults lit up, eyes opened, systems rebooted, and across the stars, a voice whispered in the dark. We remember. One ancient guardian just destroyed a fleet with a thought, but it was never alone. Now, the rest are waking up, and the galaxy has nowhere to hide. The Echo's voice faded into silence, but the stars began to stir. Across long-forgotten worlds, old vaults cracked open. Giant machines, too advanced for any known species, rose from deep within ruined cities, hollow moons, and lost oceans. Each one carried a piece of humanity's past. Each one was watching. Helix stared at the star map projected inside the vault. Tiny red lights blinked across the galaxy. But now, new lights flickered on. Blue, dozens, then hundreds. What are they? He asked. Titan answered, voice calm. They are like the Echo, human-made titans, left behind in silence, waiting. Helix whispered, Why now? The Echo's voice came like thunder and wind. Because the signal was sent. Because I called them. On the edges of the galaxy, alien leaders panicked. Insectoid queens, reptilian warlords, and machine empires all watched the new lights blinking on their sensors. They had spent centuries rewriting history, hiding the truth about Earth. Now the lie was falling apart, and the truth was terrifying. Humanity did not die, one alien general said. They hid their monsters. The Echo hovered beside Helix. Each Titan holds memories, weapons, knowledge, the last gifts of humanity before they vanished. Helix asked, Where did they go? The Echo paused. They didn't go anywhere. They became you, the survivors, the dreamers, the ones who never gave up. Suddenly, Titan stepped forward, placing a hand on Helix's shoulder. You are their spark. Outside, the sky above Erebus changed. Not from fire, from arrival. One by one, the Titans entered orbit. Some shaped like cities, others like beasts. One even moved like a living storm, and with them came humans. Real ones, hidden colonies, ancient ships, old bloodlines, answering the call. They came out of hiding, because the fear was gone. Now, there was only purpose. A new fleet formed in space. It wasn't big, it wasn't loud, it was perfect. Built from forgotten tech, alien salvage, and human genius. The aliens gathered every remaining warship to stop it. They thought it would be another war. But it wasn't. It was judgment. The Echo raised its hand toward the stars. This is not about revenge. This is about truth. And with a single command, the fleet moved, not to attack, to reveal. All across the galaxy, human symbols began to glow on old ruins, hidden stations, and corrupted archives. The truth spread like wildfire. The lie was shattered. The galaxy remembered what it had tried to forget. Humanity was the beginning, and now, it would not be the end. As battles broke out in star systems, human-controlled Titans shut down alien fleets without firing a single shot. One Titan walked through an alien capital and simply said, "This is over," and it was. Helix stood on the surface of Earth, clean air, open sky, blue oceans again. People stood around him, eyes lifted. Above them, the Echo hovered beside the other Titans. "You were not forgotten," it said. "You were hidden. Until it was time. And now the stars are yours again." In the deepest part of space, one more light turned on. Another Titan opened its eyes. And somewhere beyond the known universe, something even older whispered, "They are ready."